Today, let's talk about the past history of the metal ball criminal. Will Hui-Jae be accused of being the culprit and caught? Finally, Hang-sun and Chae-yeol will date for the first time. Join us as we break down a small detail of the episode 11 preview of Crash Course in Romance. From next week on, it seems that a full-fledged romance will begin. Then I will come back with another review of Crash Course in Romance. Please subscribe, and let's explore this together. At the end of episode 10, Mr. Popular came to Chae-yeol's house and did a live stream. At the same time, he also came to Chae-yeol's office. Eventually, Hui-Jae mustered up the courage. She says on the live stream, "My mother is actually not my biological mother but my aunt. She is single. So this isn't a scandal. It's a romance." It seems that all the controversies will cool down after Hui-Jae's revelation. Hui-Jae finally telling the public the truth must have taken a lot of courage. I want to applaud her for overcoming the pain of the past and growing her courage for the happiness of Hang-sun and Chae-yeol. When she revealed her secrets, she slowly overcame the pain of being teased about being abandoned by her biological mother and being betrayed by a trusted friend in the past. She finally had the courage to reveal this publicly to her loved ones. It was a fearless move. Fortunately, in the next episode, the worries others feel seem to flow differently. During the epilogue, it turns out that when Jae-woo brought Chae-yeol home, he also called Hang-sun. She shows up at Chae-yeol's place the night he's blind drunk, where Jae-woo is on the sofa asleep. She heads in to see Chae-yeol, and they hold hands. And when Chae-yeol kisses Hang-sun, it turns out the scene with Chae-yeol and his dreams was real, and the pair really did kiss. Episode 11. Looking at the preview, romance is in the air. After all the revelations about Hui-Jae's true identity, she worried a bit that if her friends turned their backs on her at school, the pain of past betrayals would resurface a bit. I believe Hui-Jae will be comforted by her friends and accepted wholeheartedly. She will also receive public sympathy. Because of her love for her aunt to give her freedom and clear all the rumors, even if she needs to undergo the same pain as before, revealing your secret in public is a very courageous action to overcome. Chae-yeol was, of course, surprised to hear Hui-Jae's confession. Hui-Jae also said that Chae-yeol also really likes her aunt, and then Chae-yeol left. Meanwhile, Hui-Jae goes home, faces her aunt, and encourages her to express her feelings and also go on a date. Hang-sun comes to Chae-yeol's house, knocks on Chae-yeol's door, and they both confess their feelings to each other. Chae-yeol looks happy because it turns out that Hang-sun has the same feelings as him. Finally, the two of them will date for the first time. It looks like they are going to walk in a market. Both of them go shopping together, and they are also seen boarding a yacht. As you can see, Hang-sun was very scared and happy at the same time. Meanwhile, Hui-Jae's case will also be exposed a little. He is running away from the police, but they will find him through CCTV. Hui-Jae's mother begins to suspect what Hui-Jae has been doing all this time. Hui-Jae looks very scared, and he is crying. Soon, Jae will also find Hui-Jae passed out. In another preview scene, director Kung will also tell Chae-yeol that Yi-sung died and they suspected he was murdered. Chae-yeol is very shocked to hear this. This is also an indication that Chae-yeol is not going to resign anymore from the Pride Academy. It looks like he will stay at the Pride Academy. I also believe because of Hui-Jae's revelation the public opinion changed their perception regarding Chae-yeol gaining again his reputation and parents demand him back again as a star teacher of the Pride Academy. Today, we talked about the metal ball shooter and Hui-Jae's family. I would appreciate it if you would just look at my theory as a new prediction and perspective to enjoy this video. The identity of the metal ball shooter criminal is not yet revealed. Who is the real culprit? Fans are curious about it, but it is a little clearer than previous episodes, and some hints were also revealed. It turns out, I've been steadily only named one person, Chae-yeol's assistant. If you remember from episode 10, due to the character and behavior of Dong-hee, there's a possibility that he is the culprit. Back to episode 10, Chae-yeol seems to have been missing for a while. Assistant Dong-hee looks for Chae-yeol problematically because he is not answering the phone, and he appears to be very frustrated. Eventually, he threw his phone on the floor. He even showed up. His eyes suddenly changed as he showed his savage personality. This action we've seen so far has a slightly eerie appearance, different from the appearance he showed in the previous episodes. As you remember back to episode 10, when Chae-yeol and Dong-hee walked out of the director's hallways after Chae-yeol talked to the directors about his sudden resignation from the academy, they bumped into a detective who was investigating Yi-sung's death. The police visited the Pride Academy for an investigation, and the detective said Dong-hee was a bit familiar with him. In the previous episode of Crash Course in Romance, some fans were ready to rule out that wild theory. They believe that assistant Dong-hee is the culprit. He is the metal ball shooter. Some fans also believe that he is the younger brother of the girl from the old high school incident. As you remember, Soo-yeon's brother recognized Chae-yeol, who visited the high school girl's funeral. His sister told him about the math teacher who inspired her before she killed herself, and in gratitude for making his sister's miserable life little bit happier, he started working for Chae-yeol. On the other hand, it explains his concern and love for him because he seems genuinely concerned with Chae-yeol, and just like Chae-yeol said, he is just so charming. He is a nice and reliable guy. I also think Soo-yeon's brother had a lot of affection for her, but it was because it was his mother who made her die. That morbid affection and obsession moved to teacher Chae-yeol, whom he followed the most and cared for the most. But why is the culprit also trying to catch Chae-yeol? Remember when Mr. Choi was at the Hangsoon shop and the metal ball shooter just shut the window when Chae-yeol was inside the shop? He probably wanted to send a warning shot to Hangsoon because she wanted to file police complaints about Chae-yeol for stealing the phone. Remember, it was around that time that it happened, and Chae-yeol told this to Dong-hee. Or maybe because they were arguing at the time. Maybe the target was Hangsoon. I also believe this theory makes sense. Sometimes Mr. Dong-hee is caught smiling and adoring Chae-yeol, which is creepy sometimes. Do you also observe the pattern of killing? It always happens right after Chae-yeol talks about that someone with Mr. Dong-hee. He said, should have told Miss Jong about it and blacklisted her. Kids like him deserve to be blacklisted. Did something happen between you two? If he is the metal ball shooter, I think it's true that Soo-yeon's brother killed her mother in the past because that brother had a lot of affection for her sister, but it was because it was his mother who made her die. That morbid affection and obsession developed toward teacher Chae-yeol, and he promised to protect it at all costs. Maybe the detective recognized Dong-hee because he was the detective in charge when Soo-yeon's mother died? According to Jong Rae-yeol, after Soo-yeon committed suicide and died, her mother would go insane and start obsessing over her brother even more, finally ending up jumping off a building. Soo-yeon's younger brother would go on to catch the allegations for his mother's death, but was later acquitted by the Supreme Court, following which he'd go missing. But there is one unanswered question. There is always an objection at the scene of this case. Why Soon-jae's brother is also connected with the metal ball? I guess Soon-jae's brother saw one of the crimes done by that culprit. I don't think he's the one doing all of this because he looks traumatized and depressed. I think he tried to investigate this by doing research on how to buy them. Maybe he just wanted to know how people get those things. But we cannot jump to a final conclusion because Hui-Jae is also a mysterious character. More interesting, though, is that this week we got to know a bit about the Hui-Jae. Still enigmatic, the homebuddy is someone who defied his strict mother to go missing, happy to basically give away his future in return for no academic pressure being applied to him. Hui-Jae is wanted by the police now, however, who believe he may have something to do with the stray cats being killed in alleyways. Soon, Jae's brother's identity will be revealed soon. Currently, the man in the hood is called the culprit. I'm guessing that at the convenience store last time, Hui-Jae was wearing a hoodie. There was Hui-Jae, who ran into the detective. Somehow, Hui-Jae will be accused of being the culprit and caught. We can see the detectives narrowing the investigation. On the blackboard of the detective, that scene was revealed in the preview. It seems unlikely that Hui-Jae is responsible, but we'll have to wait and see how this unfolds next week. I also think he is just the writer's smokescreen to mislead us about the killer's real identity. In the last preview scene, Hangsoon and Chae-yeol can be seen inside the car, looking shocked.